Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely incredible day. The news today is out of this world. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This past weekend, data shows the most active Bitcoin options contracts were calling for a 28,000, a 32,000, and a $36,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year. This means a number of option traders are betting the price of Bitcoin will exceed the all-time high that it touched in December 2017. On the 14th of September, researchers from data analytics firm Skew tweeted about an unusual number of call options for December 2020 that are all well above the 2017 all-time high. It says December 2020, 28K, 32K, and 36K calls among the most active Bitcoin options contracts yesterday. All of these calls are well above the mid-December 2017 all-time high, which saw Bitcoin touch, it says 19,600. Everyone normally just says 20K. There's a little chart right there. The new options positions took place on the crypto financial derivatives platform known as Deribit. The action took place on around 570 million of Bitcoin options contracts as they expired on the 28th of August. Don't have to really read anymore. We are, for some reason, back in full swing hype mode, and I'm not sure if it's because it's the middle of September and people are looking forward to autumn. I'm not really certain. However, a large amount of the news today had to do with the fact that apparently Bitcoin is about to do something big. Yes, I know. We've heard this all before. We've gone over this multiple times. But for some reason, the news today feels a lot more intense, and it probably has to also do with this right here, where the words, "It's high time for Bitcoin to begin its next significant price rise." The creator of one of the best-known Bitcoin price models has said in a tweet on the 14th of September, quant analyst PlanB highlighted increasing signs that the Bitcoin to the US dollar is due to repeat historical gains. Referring to the original incarnation of his stock-to-flow model, PlanB said that the time was right to begin an order of magnitude step up. He said this is the 2019 time series model on the historical Bitcoin data only, no gold, no silver, diamonds, no real estate data used, he wrote alongside a new chart. You see the jump in model value at the halving, the white line, and the corresponding drop in the stock-to-flow multiple, white dots, time to go up. Here's this little chart right here. For those of you who do not know, all of you should know at this point. For those of you who are relatively new, this is a guy who has become incredibly popular over the last couple of years, mainly because his chart thus far has been accurate, and he's called many other times before when there would be a drop, when there would be a movement up, what have you, so on and so forth. However, his fame comes from the 2017 move up and the moving up in price of Bitcoin between the 2020 and 2021 timeframe. He is significant because, or well known because, he has worked with many institutions, banks, very rich people around the world into helping them understand the value proposition of Bitcoin. Before, the entire idea was we have millions of people around the world using Bitcoin. Cool. We have so-and-so using Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a store of value. Bitcoin is gold. Bitcoin is this. Bitcoin is going to take over the world. He created something that showed them the same exact way that you measure or should be able to measure the value of gold or many other assets. How many are created per year based on how many are currently circulating? He created a model for Bitcoin called the stock to flow, which pretty much shows the amount of Bitcoin created per year, which decreases every 4 years based on the current circulating supply. And you get this stock to flow model that shows that Bitcoin is, I think, already has or is only going to further outpace gold in scarcity. And this is where you get this little chart right here. The most significant part is that typically around the red markers, we see a boost up in price with Bitcoin going from $10 to $1,200. As the red begins, we went from an $800 Bitcoin in 2016 to a $20,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2017. You may notice on the screen the red bubbles are forming once again. This time his prediction is, here's the older prediction, which makes it even more interesting is the word that I'm going to use. We are currently roughly around a 10 something, 15, whatever, $11,000 Bitcoin. His model shows or predicts, as the word goes, that we are going to hit above a $100,000 Bitcoin sometime either by the end of this year, not joking, or by sometime in early 2021. And it says somewhere around here as well, this is his older model. We saw his updated model a couple of days ago where it said that Bitcoin is going to hit, what was it? I think $480,000 within that same exact time frame. It has been remeasured, it has been recalibrated, and apparently Bitcoin's about to go completely bananas. So, yes, this was kind of all over the news. I guess when PlanB speaks, everyone listens. Because he has spoken to some of the richest people on the planet, I assume they took notice, and this is why we keep getting news that all these rich people are buying up hordes and hordes of Bitcoin. This was mainly the price news for today. It was nothing about the current price. There was, I think, one article talking about that Bitcoin. Even then, it was like Bitcoin, it looks like it's about to try and hit 11,000, because I think in the evening we went to $10,720 per Bitcoin, and therefore, you know, as we etch up closer, 11K seems to be nigh. But the news is, apparently there are a lot of people who have open positions for contracts who are calling for, by the end of this year, a $36,000 Bitcoin. And Mr. PlanB is pretty much saying, hey, it's go time. So I think a large part of his personal success will lie on if this all happens completely. If this man by himself has been able to map out the 2017 bull run and a run from where we are right now to a 100K to a 300, 400K Bitcoin, his models will become law, which will be a bit insane. I don't have it on the screen right here. I don't know if other people, whatever. His other models, he has models that go up to the year, I think, 2032. And they call for around a $5 to $10 million Bitcoin. If this man is correct, and by the end of this year, we are around a $30, $40, $50,000 Bitcoin, by the beginning of next year, we hit 100K, everything this man has said, he will become the new time traveler, and people will only pay attention to this man's graphs, which means, as a normal and self-fulfilling prophecy, people will completely lose their minds and buy as much Bitcoin as possible, pretty much showcasing that his models will become law. It's a little insane to think about, but this is the final push. It's nearing the end of the year. If his models are right, then gosh darn it, it's going to hit the fan, because everyone and their mother are going to start buying as much Bitcoin as possible. Anyway, that's all the pricey newsy, and let's move on. Next up, Binance US, the regulatory friendly, and that is the most accurate thing you're going to hear this whole video. The regulatory friendly US branch of crypto exchange Binance has added Alabama to its list of approved states. Binance added Alabama to its list on the 13th of September, complete with a football graphic as an homage to one of the state's favorite pastimes. The announcement also listed steps necessary for Alabamians. Okay, getting started on the platform, including account creation and verification. Binance unveiled its ban on U.S. customers in June 2019. Why can't I read? Every single day. Someone mentioned before, they were like, you say that every video, but you still can't read. I'm working on it. It's a process. I'm starting school tomorrow. I'm not. The company subsequently released a regulatory sensitive version of the platform months later called Binance.us. You're going to see in a couple seconds. The US is, for some reason, they are ramping up their I hate you memo. You should not be here memo. Get out of our territory memo is a nice way of kind of saying it. Not even years ago, last year, the U.S. put a whole bunch of roadblocks in the way and pretty much said, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. And this is when Binance US kind of came to be, because they were like, okay, we can comply. I assume once again it has to do with them, wanting money. Anyway, I guess slow rollout. I do not know if Binance.us is available in New York State yet. I still think it's incredibly ridiculous that there's like this super hyper fragmented thing. One would normally assume if you do business in the States, you're doing business in the States. You're not simply doing business in Alabama and California and Texas and in Ohio and in Florida, that you kind of get the whole blanket. But this is why regulations are usually quite slow and inefficient because of things like this. Anyway, this was quite popular news. If you are in Alabama, Binance US is now an option for you, because many people were asking before in the comment section. I don't have all the answers for you. I'm only human. I cannot give you the answers to everything. People were asking, well, which website, which so-and-so do I go to? When can I use Binance US? I am not Binance. I do not know. As the news rolls out, I will, of course, bring it to you so that you can actually use it. And without further ado, let's move on. Here we go. Here's where it starts to get into the really crazy, obscene news. Billion-dollar business intelligence software firm MicroStrategy made waves last month when it announced to its shareholders that it might invest up to $250 million in Bitcoin over the following 12 months. And then just days later, they went ahead and did it. MicroStrategy's purchase of 21,454 Bitcoin, as of writing, was a signal to other public companies that Bitcoin could be seen as a serious reserve asset. I mean, if people are just getting that now, I don't know what else to say. And now the company has suggested that it may increase its Bitcoin's holdings in the future. In a filing with the US SEC on Friday, the company noted that its board of directors has updated the company's treasury reserve policy. The new policy notes that aside from cash equivalents, and short-term investments, Bitcoin will now serve as the company's primary reserve asset. Did you hear what I just said? They are choosing Bitcoin as their primary reserve asset over cash equivalents and even the US dollar. I hope you got that. I don't even have to read any further. That should have set off so many alarm bells in your head as to where all of this is going. The rich people are here to stay. They are buying up. Can you imagine? Do you understand the significance of one company in one day buying $250 million worth of Bitcoin? Especially even announcing that they were planning on doing it over the course of 12 months, and they were like, no, let's do it all right now. I would not be shocked at all if MicroStrategy had discussions sometimes before in the past with PlanB. He's mentioned it many other times. He's spoken with a ton of banks. Why would banks want the advice of some pseudonymous person on Twitter? Because it's whatever. I listen. I understand it, and I hope you do as well. The point is, we have not gotten official news as to how much more they plan on adding to their portfolio. However, they're all in line right now. There's no doubt in my mind, me personally, how I feel that Bitcoin is going to do exceedingly well. But I think we have entered the doorway of normal people will never, ever, 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 ever be able to ever fully accumulate one Bitcoin. I said this a couple of years ago, even when we were around a $2,000 Bitcoin. I did not see a run up to $20,000. That was the farthest thing from my mind. But I said, we're going to enter a point very soon where only rich people are holding Bitcoin and multiple Bitcoin. And then what's going to end up happening is they're going to tell other people that they should start getting into Bitcoin when its price has risen exponentially. And we've started seeing the billiards, the placats, and all this other stuff around the world. Anyway, yeah, that is probably one of the most significant news stories that we've had in a very long time. There's a company. They are now in possession of at least 21,454 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does go one day to $250,000, 500,000 or to $5 to $10 million per Bitcoin, they are going to be one of the richest companies, same thing, on the planet. Let's move on. Here's a good one, and it seems to be for a very obvious reason, at least in my eyes. Tether is preparing for yet another big transfer of Tether tokens. Tether, the largest stablecoin provider in crypto, announced today that it will work with a third-party client, presumably a yet undisclosed cryptocurrency exchange, to move $1 billion worth of Tether from Tron to Ethereum. It's the second time that Tether is performing such an action in the last 30 days. I wonder what is happening that they're specifically moving it away from Tron. This is going to be $2 billion worth of value that was circulating on Tron that is now moving over to Ethereum. The loss of a second billion in Tether stablecoins from Tron comes as DeFi products on Ethereum recover from the recent downturn in locked value, earning back more than $1 billion in less than a day between the 13th and 14th of September, according to data from DeFi Pulse. Nope, that's nonsense. There's no reason. I'm going to highly doubt that the people from Tether have simply decided to move $1 billion in value from one blockchain to Ethereum simply because we seem to be recovering from a downturn. I don't know what's happening with Tron. A lot of the Tron news that we've been getting has been more hyped up than usual. Not that it seems desperate, but it's desperate adjacent, especially with them announcing that entire, we're going to be getting into DeFi thing as well. And the day after they announced that the price of Tron dropped. It appears to me there are a lot of bets being formed for the rise of Ethereum 2.0. This is the seemingly only logical idea that it can be for me. I think they're going to continue hedging their bets on different chains. As it appears, the SEC has a bullseye for Tether because of the last 3.5 years. I'm not going to even give you all the news once again. So I don't know. I don't really know how to segue from that except for just kind of continuing on to this. We had a bit of news about this yesterday and some of it the day before. It says Ethereum 2.0 is seemingly just around the corner, with the long-awaited network upgrade switching from proof of work to proof of stake while implementing various other enhancements. But there will be one more brief pit stop before it can go live. Today, the Ethereum Foundation announced the impending launch of the second parallel testnet called Spadina, which will exist alongside the currently active Medalla testnet. Why run a second one? According to a blog post from developer Danny Ryan, the team doesn't want to disrupt developers who are currently working on the first testnet, but it does want an updated version of the first testnet that allows developers to test out certain specific elements. The first testnet, I think, with the news that we had, went off without a hitch. Air quotes. They found a couple of bugs. The bugs were fixed. So now it appears they, have the first teams running through the first testnet to see if they can find any more bugs, and the second implementation will be a second parallel blockchain with the updated fixes that will allow people to, also do what they need to do. Here's the most important part. The Spadina testnet, which has a mainnet-like configuration, will only last for 3 days when it goes live later this month, with a particular emphasis on deposits and Genesis. These two aspects are connected. Before the new beacon chain can first launch its Genesis block, at least 16,384 validators must have staked over 524,000 Ether between them. It's happening soon. This is at least what it feels like. The news that we got was November. As we are nearing the end of this month, the 3-day secondary testnet Spadina will go live. I guess to see if all the staking and stuff also works. I feel like we are at the beginning of something insane. If we get indications, how weird would it be? This is I have my tinfoil hat just resting on my ear. How weird would it be if the people from Ethereum had really scrutinized the stock to flow ratio to see exactly, when the time frame that Bitcoin was allegedly supposed to start going crazy, and they made sure to line up the release of Ethereum 2.0 to coincide with the rise in Bitcoin's price to kind of ride that wave upward. Don't forget the price predictions, not the price realities, because they are predictions that we were getting for Ether's price, were between 4,000 to 8,000 US dollars per coin. Maybe you have to ride a huge wave. Like, imagine what would happen if we get to the end of this month and Bitcoin is like edging higher. Bitcoin is 13,000, 16,000. We get to the middle of October, it's showing around 17,000, 18,000. It's having difficulty breaking through. We get to the beginning of November. Bitcoin's around a $21,000, $22,000 Bitcoin. And everyone's like, okay, it's time for the price to come back down. But we see it start inching a lot higher. Ethereum 2.0 comes out. Everyone starts migrating all of their coins and their projects to Ethereum. Ethereum hits $1,200, $1,400, $1,800. Bitcoin goes completely insane and starts moving up towards 30,000 US dollars. Ethereum hits 2, 3, 4. It seems likely in my head. Maybe I've been watching too many sci-fi movies. Netflix is crazy. I've been watching so many things. I won't even name any specific movies, but there are a lot out there. Anyway, yeah. The news that we keep getting is that Ethereum 2.0 is very, very close. Here's the actual Ethereum blog. ETH 2.0 quick update number 16 for the stuff we were just talking about. And without further ado, let us move on. This is why I was talking about Binance US a couple of minutes ago. A new report filed by the Financial Action Task Force, or the FATF, details a series of red flags that can help identify illicit activity involving cryptocurrencies. Among them are a general set of guidelines involving crypto exchanges in jurisdictions with weaker regulations, where Binance is seemingly singled out for often moving to avoid stronger regulatory oversight. The report, published on the 14th of September, lists a variety of red flags for spotting money laundering or terrorism financing grouped by categories. Most red flags cited are commonly seen in traditional finance as well, young or old people suddenly transacting for huge sums of money, or transfers split into many chunks just below the reporting threshold, which I always found pretty interesting. Normally, in most places, the reporting threshold is either 10,000 or 100,000, but they also find it suspicious if you start moving money below that number. Like, let's say, for instance, random number, not even random. Let's say the reporting threshold is 100,000 and you make 5 transfers of 90,000. They see that as you slightly breaking the law as opposed to doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, imagine if you're trying to transfer money, but you don't want to set off any alarms, like in like a totally legal way. Like, it's your money, you're trying to move it. And you decide to move 90,000 per day as opposed to 100K per day, you still get flagged. What's the point of having the 100K threshold if anything slightly near it? Like, even if you were transferring 85,000 per day, you would still get flagged. I always found that very, very interesting. Just say, like, if you're transferring a lot of money, you're gonna get flagged. In this section relating to geopolitical risk, however, the report clearly states that users transacting with exchanges located in jurisdictions with low AML regulations are a red flag. I don't even have to read anymore. The point is, the Financial Action Task Force and the SEC and the CFTC within the United States are all coming for Binance. I'm sure Binance knows this, and this is probably why we have seen them hopping around before. It says the exchange in question is very likely to be Binance, of course. Binance has been one of the exchanges who has made sure to position themselves in countries that are sometimes not under the direct jurisdiction of the United States. And this is a big no-no because Big Brother wants to see everything. That's not even tinfoil hat. That's if you just pay attention to logic, that's kind of how it has to be. So Binance has hopped around to about 3 or 4 different countries. I don't know exactly which country they are currently listed in as being officially placed inside of, but this is going to ramp up very quick. We are at the point where regulators know what cryptocurrencies are, probably know of the potential prices that they could have in the future. This is why we've seen that great, wonderful ramp up for regulations over the last year with cryptocurrency exchanges, everyone bending to someone else's will, and many other cryptocurrency exchanges simply leaving the States or leaving New York and moving to Europe and moving to Malta and moving to all these other places because, better regulations. And I said this before. I said, what happens when you keep pushing everyone out of your door and then look back inside of your house and say, why don't I have any friends? Every single major cryptocurrency exchange, save Coinbase and the Gemini twins, have basically moved out of the States, and they've gone to other places where they have lower tax holds and all this other stuff, and they're more able to move around than they would be in one country. So as it stands right now, I'm certain that all of these letter companies and organizations are trying to come after the largest cryptocurrency exchange, and also the one that has made sure that they are working within some type of regulatory framework guideline that other lettered companies do not have control of, and I'm sure that bugs them to no end. Anyway, this is why they chose the words that they were using. It's illicit activity. It's weaker so-and-so. You need avoiding regulatory oversight. These things are make sure that you are always within the legal purview of whatever you're doing within your country. But we spoke about this last year and the year before as well. Remember, we were talking about that guy who was in Africa, and he got into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and people were like, "Oh no, you shouldn't do that. No, it's illegal." So he went through all the books and found out that it wasn't illegal. What he found out is that regulators and so other people had simply gone onto the news and said, "We don't like it, don't use it." And that scared everybody else from doing it. He was like, "But it's completely legal for me to do so." And people were like, "Yeah, I guess technically." He was asking other people within the country, and they were terrified to have him even say the word Bitcoin in their restaurants. So make sure that you're always legally doing what you are legally allowed to do. But if you're legally allowed to use Binance, by all means, legally do it. And without further ado, actually, I think this is the thing right here. Yeah, here's the actual PDF for them from the FATF. It says virtual assets, red flag indicators of money laundering and terrorist financing. It always is just because they don't control something that something then becomes evil. It's really interesting. Tying all of this, all of it, into regulation news. For those of you who did not hear about this about 2 days ago, this was far more popular than it should have been. The United States SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, has charged Clifford Harris Jr., or the rapper known as T.I., for securities violations involving the promotion of an ICO back in 2017. That later turned out to be a fraud. The securities regulator accused T.I. of selling crypto tokens using his Twitter account. The SEC said that rapper T.I. encouraged his followers to invest in 2017's Flick ICO, that is F-L-I-K, while falsely claiming to be part owner. The Flick ICO raised around 539 Ether, worth around $164,000 US in 2017. Without making much noise, Harris agreed to pay $75,000 as penalty charges to the SEC. Explaining the Flick fraud, the SEC explained, Flick's promotional materials further promised that Flick tokens would be redeemable on the Flick platform for increasing amounts over the year, with each Flick redeemable for $3.99 after the first month. And this is scammy. Wow. So apparently the idea was that one Flick would be redeemable for $4 after the first 3 months, $10 after the first 12 months, and if you held on it for 15 months, you would get $14.99 per flick. Not good. No flick platform ever existed. T.I. also asked a celebrity friend to promote the flick ICO on social media and provided the language for the post. I'm going to not play devil's advocate, but these people have no idea what they were doing. Zero. There were many celebrities who got in trouble. It is not just rapper T.I. There are many celebrities during this time who were promoting ICOs, and it's mainly because they had no idea what an ICO was. They knew what Bitcoin was. They had heard the term blockchain. Once again, playing devil's advocate, but it's mainly because these people, there are people within the cryptocurrency space who still don't understand what the SEC is, who don't understand what the CFTC is, the FATF, or what a security or a commodity is. So just imagine someone who is a businessman or someone who makes money in whatever other way hearing, I'll give you money. I'll give you X amount of money to post this on your social media. Let us never forget Mr. McAfee in 2017 had a coin of the day. He was promoting a different ICO every single day, and I think the news was, the alleged news is that he was getting between 50 to 100,000 per post, allegedly. I don't know. I'm never going to meet Mr. McAfee. The entire point is that was the news. So this was the news that apparently someone very famous got by the SEC and has to pay money back. This is very significant for the next thing that I am going to show you. Remember, I assume that this person right here, Clifford Harris, probably had no idea what he was doing. Just a general idea. Even they asked many people within the cryptocurrency space after the entire ICO boom and bust happened, what is a security? And they were like, it's something that you use to protect yourself. No, what is a financial security? It's something financially that you use like a life jacket or like a life vest, because no one knows what a security is. However, by the end of 2018, many people within the cryptocurrency space were well aware of what a security was, falling under the jurisdiction of the SEC. However, a prominent crypto analyst, and he is not the only one, and trader, is calling out a new altcoin that he believes is massively undervalued. The pseudonymous analyst, the Crypto Dog, told his 224,000 Twitter followers that the DeFi asset Cream, that is CREAM, like I rub cream on my arm, has a remarkably small market cap given its potential. He said, built a Cream position recently. I think this one is massively undervalued, sitting at $100 million market cap and a potential $300 million total value locked right now, and people are about to start noticing, end quote. Cream is a peer-to-peer DeFi ecosystem that allows users to borrow supported crypto assets, stake tokens to earn rewards, and exchange cryptocurrencies. It's also designed to help provide liquidity to assets that are not usually listed in major exchanges in an effort to boost financial inclusion. The crypto strategist is also bullish on Bitcoin and thinks bears are done doing damage. Wonderful. This is the point that we're going to focus on. Once again, the Crypto Dog is not the only one. There are many people who are promoting DeFi projects in the cryptocurrency space. Why is this significant? For those of you not looking at the screen, it says regulators will crush DeFi unless it becomes truly decentralized. The SEC killed ICOs. DeFi could be next. And this one says, as DeFi matures, U.S. financial regulatory questions loom large. We got news a couple of days ago that people from the SEC consider all DeFi projects at the moment to be securities. Nearly all of these projects have a face. There is a head of the company. There is a head of the so-and-so, the head of marketing, the head of the person who created these coins. Many of these people have not even tried to be pseudonymous or anonymous. They simply show their faces on Twitter. What have you? I am suggesting that you all please watch out. If you are a crypto tuber, if you are a crypto Twitterer, please make sure that you are not promoting DeFi platforms and or coins. Do any of you remember What happened to the other YouTubers who were promoting ICOs in 2017? Anyone? They're all gone. All their platforms got deleted because they were not even just BitConnect. They were promoting many different ICOs, and the same thing is happening right now. Many people believe, much like they did in 2017, that they cannot or will not get in trouble because it's called DeFi. It's decentralized. Nobody knows where this is taking place, and it's simply happening online in a different form of a protocol. Nope, that's not how it works. This is why we've had an uptick in news from Chainalysis and all these other companies who are tracking where these transactions are going. I'm simply saying this as a warning. I mentioned many other times before, this year is basically just a mimic of 2017. The same exact thing is going to happen. People are promoting these coins thinking that they can simply, not that they can get away with it, but that no one will, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Make sure that you're not putting your money into these coins, which a lot of them I believe are scams. And also watch out when promoting these things as well, because the last thing you want is to get a letter from the SEC or CFTC. Don't think that they can't get you overseas, because that also happened last year. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. It's not that difficult. Just pay attention. The SEC is clearly going to come after these things. It's not even a question anymore. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Bastos Bolero, LRU, Michelle and Creole, Lionel with Crypto On, Machonisa Tigara, Keika Me Bake, Keika Me Bake, 17, Medic Arf, I should have said Teen 7, I guess that, whatever, Staff Corner, Monks, Fitness Anytime, Face Boat Mick Bodie, okay, Crypto to Yes, Day Leg Skips Kyle, and Day Every Chest Hits Miller. Kind of Yoda-ing right there. Coins Minting, Fox Jeremy, Gardner Jim, Charles Anthony, Lavori Mangia Nick, Paxis, Impaler the Vlad, I Rich Richie, Kanaya Nick, Setsuna, Damien, D3, Coldy Artist Crypto, Work Net, Roll Bank, Joe Crypto, World the 2242, Owl Nightwise, Schneider Jared, Thailand Inventures Master, Moroni Moher, Sick Gray Adam Graysick backwards is Sick Gray Adam, Mullis Todd, Phobia O Abiblio, Reader Animal the Sarsen John Nost. How do we do? Okay. Nostromo is be Romo Nost. Okay, that kind of works. Stoyer Martin, Yard Vine Joshua, PRX High Man Moon, 965 Utopia, Donato Maldo Oscar, Harari Yasha, Han the Attila, James David, Williams Navarro, Peter Decentralized, Chain Block and Agile Auspicious, Chan Snacky, doesn't have the same ring as Snacky Chan, Chan Snacky, Banan Tolek, and University Bot Gun from Wally Professor. That was actually pretty fun. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone out there who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who is a supporter of the channel in their own way. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently at, if I could scroll up to it, geez Louise, $10,670 US. Here was that little movement right here. I'm pretty sure we hit 10,720, 30, somewhere around that number. The market reacted strongly and many coins started pumping, but it looks like everyone is kind of waiting to see where Bitcoin is going to go next, as is normal, I guess, within the cryptocurrency space. No coins are really skyrocketing or doing anything crazy. Yearn Finance is finally reacting to reality. We keep getting calls that this coin is going to go to $80,000, and it's like, stop it, man. Like, these things came out 4 weeks ago. The hype can't last forever. The market's mainly in red. A lot of altcoins are in red. Bitcoin is maybe potentially about to do what PlanB was talking about, but in the end, no one knows. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.